Hello to everyone in the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Cathedral community. This is Father Jonathan. I hope you're doing well. Remember, we're here for you, praying for you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. I wanted to continue our conversations, our reflections on the book of Psalms. Yesterday, I spoke a little bit about the Psalms as a whole, how we can utilize them for our own prayer in times of sorrow and in times of joy and thanksgiving. And I wanted to delve deep into the Psalms again, and today I wanted to speak about a psalm that we might be familiar with. It's said every day at the Orthros service, so if you're able to ever get there, you'll have heard this a number of times. And it's Psalm 87 in the Orthodox numbering according to the Septuagint, and Psalm 88 in most other Bibles. And it's a beautiful psalm, and it really speaks to the reality that we find ourselves in, I believe. And without any further ado, I'll read it and then I'll reflect on a few parts of it that really speak to this current circumstance. O Lord God of my salvation, I cry day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to my supplication, O Lord. For my soul is filled with sorrows, and my soul draws near to Hades. I am counted among those who go down into the pit, like slain men thrown down and sleeping in a grave, whom you remember no more. But they were removed from your hand. They laid me in the lowest pit, in dark places, in the shadow of death. Your wrath rested upon me, and you brought all your billows over me. You removed my acquaintances afar from me, and made me an abomination among themselves. I was betrayed and did not go forth, my eyes weakened from poverty. O Lord, I cry to you the whole day long. I spread out my hands to you. Will you work wonders for the dead, or will physicians raise them up and acknowledge you? Shall anyone in the grave describe your mercy and your truth in destruction? Shall your wonders be known in darkness and your righteousness in a forgotten land? But I cry to you, O Lord, and in the morning my prayer shall come before you. Why, O Lord, do you reject my soul and turn away your face from me? I am poor and in troubles from my youth. But having been exalted, I was humbled and brought to despair. Your fierce anger passed over me. Your terrors greatly troubled me. They compassed me like water all the day long. They surrounded me at once. You removed afar from me neighbor and friend, and my acquaintances because of my misery. Now, at first listen, this might sound like quite a depressing psalm, and it's certainly meant to be. This is the groanings of a man who is suffering greatly. And we, too, find ourselves in various ways suffering greatly. Some of us are fearful and anxious, feeling like we're surrounded at all sides by our enemy, the enemy that is a virus, something that we can't even see, but we can see the effects of all around us. We find ourselves stranded at home, isolated, without anyone to reach out to immediately in touch. And it's a frightening thing. The line in verse 9, when you hear, "You've removed my acquaintances far from me," has a whole new meaning when we are isolated and practicing social distancing. We may feel ourselves in the midst of this in a dark pit, like we're in Hades, like we're in a hell of the making of this virus. And we find ourselves in dark places in the shadow of death, fearful of what's going on. But the psalm gives us something to do, I believe, because the very beginning of the psalm starts out with, "O Lord God of my salvation, I cry out day and night before you." In the midst of all these struggles, how often have we called out upon God? Really called from the depths of our soul, from the depths of this struggle. That is a way to respond to this. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to change anything immediately. It doesn't mean that we're not going to find ourselves in these circumstances. But it does mean that we can act. And we can act from the very core of our being, from our deep within our hearts, and call upon God. And in doing so, we open ourselves up to receive God's grace that's freely given to us. It may feel like we are surrounded on all sides. It may feel like, as the psalm says, that we are rejected. Why, O Lord, do you reject my soul and turn your face away from me? It may feel like in the midst of this, that's what's going on. But in calling out to God, in relating to God, in speaking to God, a great chasm that separates us, at least in our mind, will begin to shrink, and we will begin to realize that God is not in some far off place, but God is present in our own hearts. We just have to find him there. I hope this was edifying. I hope that you're all taking these lessons, these meditations to heart and trying to implement some of the wisdom in them. I hope that you also get in a habit of reading these Psalms, finding words that speak to your own experience, finding the words that can articulate the reality in which you're living. I hope that you continue to do so. And again, if you all need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Email us, call us. Even though we're working remotely, any calls that come to the office will be forwarded directly to whoever you want to speak to just by typing in our number. So it's really convenient for everyone. We're here. We love you. We're praying for you. God bless.